Hello.
Hey.
Been a long time since I've done live.
Yeah, a whole 15 minutes.
Well, if you're catching this and you haven't just watched the previous live, do head back over there. We're talking about the YouTube Academy that starts Monday. And we're just talking about why, seeing whether it's a fit for you or not.
Yeah.
But that's not the topic of this one.
No.
What are we going to talk about today, Owen?
Today we're talking about analytics.
Yes, and very much you.
Yeah, all the numbers.
Yeah, and it's exciting really because I've mentioned a couple of times on lives. It's getting on for 2 years actually now that you've been here.
Yeah,
it's not far off. Owen came very much on board, and you took straight away to the video editing. You like the idea of making videos and coming up with all the ideas and things behind it. A big chunk of time has been editing.
Yep.
But then recently we've outsourced our editing, and we've got a great guy who's doing our editing. So it's actually freed you up to go, okay, this is the bit that you enjoy.
Yep.
Looking at the numbers, working out what's working and what isn't. And we want to bring some of that to you today. So I'm going to be letting Owen take the lead very much, looking at things that he knows, that he's found. So is this more for people with existing channels?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So there are some bits in here that after you've gotten maybe 5-10 views kind of thing, like this. Yeah, this is going to be ideally after you've made a couple videos. They've got a bit of traction or not, but it's really seeing where we could, looking at the analytics and seeing what it's telling us kind of thing.
Yeah. There are some things though out there that will help people coming up with ideas and some sneaky ways of doing some research on your competitors and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you lead with this, and I'll just keep jumping in. Hey, Paul, good to see you again. Good old Paul. He's a star, isn't he?
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Over to you.
So, first of all, if for those who haven't maybe made their videos yet, let's talk about research first of all, because it's knowing what videos you're going to make can be really difficult.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
But for those that are, ideally you want to know ideally you have an interest in it, whether that's a specific topic that you're teaching.
Yep.
Ideally, you'd want to be kind of interested in it. So maybe looking at some of the people you follow.
Mm-hmm.
So say, for example, for us, we've got Tom Buck, who is
a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's kind of killing it on YouTube at the moment.
He's got an incredible channel. Yeah. Big fans of Tom Buck.
Yeah. And so what a lot of us would probably end up doing is going on to his videos, and we want to see what topics are doing well. So for a lot of us, we sort by most popular, and this works great for us. But one step that we can kind of do to make it a bit more relevant, so say for example, if this streaming and podcasting microphone, maybe that was hugely relevant and doing great, and it's not as relevant right now. So really what we want to do is we're going to use vidIQ, which is a competitor to TubeBuddy, but we're on the free plan.
Mm-hmm. And you can run them both.
Yes.
You can have both installed, as we've got here.
Yeah. So vidIQ adds this trending tab, which kind of, instead of sorting by the view count of most popular, it sorts by how many views per hour they're getting. This VPH. This
is something you're very keen. You're really liking this, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know you've been. Owen will kind of throw these things across and go, look what I've just discovered over here, and it's really cool.
Yeah. So say for example, actually, while we may have looked at that other microphone that was the cheapest podcast mic, I believe, we could now actually go, well, actually, the Blue Yeti microphone is actually a really popular topic at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
and this is getting 66.6 views an hour.
Now, it's worth pointing out that this is just 2 days old.
Yes.
So there will be that bit of a spike on some of them.
Yeah.
But interestingly, that next one across, that's 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's still getting nearly 21 views an hour.
Yeah.
So this would be good inspiration for us to look at, somebody with a very similar channel to ours or the same content as ours, things that we could be talking about and going, what's trending for them?
Yeah.
So all of you could do this for, if you find channels that tend to come up against you in the searches or people that you're aspiring to be, you can look on theirs. And as Owen's just showing us here, then you can go, this was made 7 months ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, a year ago, these top line here, but they're his top trending ones right now out of all the videos that he's made. So I think that's fantastic. And it's something that I didn't know you could do.
Yep. As far as doing this for your own channel, it may not be the most useful thing because we actually have, on your own channel, you have more accurate analytics to the last 48 hours, the last hour, things like that. So in that sense, like, you don't need to do it on your own, but for other people, vidIQ on the free plan, just having the Chrome extension is good. And we also talk in the Academy of some other things you can do with vidIQ.
Does clicking that, I'm just seeing the question here, say the program again, does clicking on the vidIQ link show up the page? Or can you just pull up that page?
Yep.
There we go. So vidIQ.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting as well that they've got their own YouTube channel, which is actually, it's a really good one if you're trying to learn YouTube.
Good tutorials on it and how to analyze it. Yeah, so there's bits in both of them that we like. But yeah, thank you, Paul. I didn't realize you'd pop that in there. vidIQ, is another one, is another channel to look at.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can do a bit of research, and I really like that we can have a look at we say competitors, but they're those that are making the same kind of content as us, and certainly the bigger players that you can go, what's actually working?
Yeah.
There's a few other things that I would do with that, of kind of looking through people's videos that we'll cover more in the Academy. We're not going to go into here. There's a lot you can do research-wise. So yeah, thank you. Let's have a look at the next thing, eh?
Yeah, and then still on the topic of research, YouTube have just added in this. It's in beta at the moment, but if you're in your channel analytics, you can come over to this new research tab. And so similar to TubeBuddy's Keyword Explorer, I think I'd still favor that over this because it gives you a bit more about your competition, things like that. But your viewers' searches is are really good. You can see I've come in here and bookmarked some of them. But say, for example, so what this is saying is people that have watched our videos have also then gone and searched this.
So these are the search phrases that they've typed into YouTube.
Yeah.
As well. So it's not that this is why they've found ours. This is other things that they've been looking at before or after. So
for example, a video that's doing well at the moment for us and will show up in a bit is the LED panels versus Softbox. So actually then people have gone off and searched LED lights. There's also a lot of real estate people that are searching real estate.
Yeah. It probably says something about our avatar really and our customer that's potentially where their interest is.
Yeah, and whether it's a case of you making these videos, it doesn't overly matter as much as the fact that we can now go, okay, we know we're kind of talking a bit more towards real estate, to people doing real estate, as well as...
Or we could do a live stream for real estate agents or something like that.
As well as
interesting
leadership, the Sony A7 IV, the Nikon 5600, which again, if we were doing setting tutorials, they would be potential ones to look into.
Yeah.
And then also the likes of Final Cut Pro and a bit more of that. The music The Musician's Edge has said, do you have to do something to sign up for that research tab, or do they just give it to you? They're just rolling it out. So it was just this morning actually that we got access to it.
You'd seen Robert Cheebuddy was it?
It was
Rob that was
Andrew.
Andrew was talking about it.
Yeah. So again, it's something that's coming out and it's being rolled out. It unfortunately there's no way of kind of putting your hand up and volunteering for it. But yeah, that's kind of
cool.
The research side of it. There's a lot of things in here, and then we can save them. And so just from today's ones, we've potentially got 5 videos there that we can go, okay, great, let's make these, see how this works. And I believe this refreshes every 28 days.
Yeah.
Well, this is the top ones. This is, I think, constantly refreshing, but can potentially be completely different in 28 days.
And so we would take something like LED lights then, and we could pop that, or Stream Deck. I see there ones that you've bookmarked there. We would then take this into the Keyword Explorer tool and see how to take those what we're not just going to make a video called Stream Deck. What are we actually, and that will help us to get that high score as to what people are searching. And then we go into the SEO studio and we can see how to really optimize that video and the description. So all the things we've been talking about this week kind of all come together, and you can see how these analytics can really be powerful.
Yeah, and we could even potentially take this one step further and just go, okay, there's a lot of interest in the Stream Deck. Let's make a playlist about the Stream Deck with things like the best way to set it up, different things you can do with it that you didn't know you could, and stuff like that, as well with LED lights, which is another one on here.
And we covered this yesterday on the live when we were talking about...
clustering. Well,
don't know what the title was around.
Getting more email.
Yes, email subscribers from YouTube. We talked in that live yesterday about doing these clusters, as Owen's saying, around a topic. Maybe you've got a PDF, a download. Maybe it's some Stream Deck keys that you could have that people could download. And at that point, you're bringing them off of YouTube because they're giving you an email address to download this. And you know they're interested in a Stream Deck. It kind of maybe helps you to think of how you can lead them on or what content you can follow up with. So yeah, really good. Thank you, Owen.
Now, the next thing we kind of want to talk about, because we're kind of now getting more away from the research and into the analytics, and I feel like it makes sense that the first thing we do is how they first found you. So say if we come on to, this is the LED panel versus Softbox video. If we go on to our reach, this is kind of giving us a better idea of where people find us. So your impressions are, whenever you're on the YouTube homepage and you're just scrolling, that's an impression. Whenever someone's video comes up in front of you, so the impressions click-through rate is how many people then clicked your video.
So the impression doesn't mean they've even looked at it, but it passed them on the page. It's kind of down that right side as a suggested video.
And so this traffic source types is kind of splitting up the views into where they came from. So for us in this video, 61% of views came from YouTube search. So we know that this video is doing really well in search, whether that's we've picked a good keyword, we've just optimized it well, whatever that is, we know it's working here. And we can actually click to see more, and that opens up the advanced analytics part, and you can really see each color. So like, for example, on this, the blue is our YouTube search, green is suggested, things like that. And you can see all the different things like your click-through rate and views for each platform.
One thing I've been saying to people about with this is that we can see actually what people searched to find this video, can't we?
Yes.
Are you able to pull that up and just have a look at what... So really powerful for us to actually know what did... And I remember doing this with the Panasonic G7, for instance. we actually found more people searched Lumix G7 than Panasonic. So you go, okay, maybe we need to change your title around here. What difference would it make?
So on here, we've just scrolled down from this same reach tab, and it's kind of like breaking up the search one just down here. And for this, it's actually this video is actually quite spread out across keywords.
Okay.
So it's not one specific keyword's taken it all the way. It's really just that it's hitting all of these enough. So say for example,
a bit on there.
Yep.
Yep.
So say for example, softbox versus LED panel.
So that's exactly what our title. Well, LED panel versus softbox.
So actually, maybe we could maybe A/B test it, but go. Okay, actually, we've put it in as LED panel versus softbox, but not as many people have watched the video from there. So actually, why don't we try and flip this and see if it works the other way?
And it just shows that makes a difference. The order that you put the words in, that we're seeing it down here. YouTube is specifically pulling out the order that people have searched it.
And then this is fairly spread out across all of them. As you can see on this graph, is really a sense of actually how many people, how many searches come from specific ones, and how kind of bunched in together is meaning that one's not. While this top one is working the best, one's not doing.
Not standing out by far. No. Would be different on different videos, so definitely worth a look if you're trying to, this. We don't want to overwhelm anybody new looking at YouTube. This is not anything that you need to be worrying about at this stage. But for those of you, we've had a few people on the live an hour ago that were saying actually they're quite happy with their channel. It's working. This is stuff that they could be investing in, or getting an assistant to help them and look at and do the numbers on. But could really, these little tweaks, if you're starting to get in the thousands of views, making these little tweaks could just, that few percentage is worth changing. Yeah.
And there is also that sense of don't fix what's not broken. And that, as we say, that tweak can do that bit to give it a bit extra. I would recommend A/B testing rather than just straight up changing, because quite frankly, if you A/B test it, especially with TubeBuddy, you can do it until it's statistically significant. So I believe that's like 94-95% sure
as to which is the strongest.
Yeah. And so until then, they won't stop it, and then they'll let you know once it's stopped and be like, we're convinced this is better, so go for this, rather than just going, yeah, maybe, and then changing it.
Interesting. That's good.
Because there's a lot of times that I've gone, yeah, I think this would be better. Let's A/B test it, and I've been completely wrong, and it was the other way around. So actually, it's that kind of us sitting here thinking this is what our audience wants isn't actually always what they actually want. It's kind of what we want to give them in that sense.
And talking of the A/B testing, we can do it with thumbnails as well and see whether a nice smiley image is better than a stock image or something like that. And this is part of the Legend plan, the top level plan. In the Academy starting on Monday, everyone who comes in will be, if you haven't already done one of YouTube's trials, you will be given a 3-month access to this for free. So worth $150 nearly. So a good reason to come and join us next week to be able to access this. Yeah.
And the next point I want to talk about is the new versus return viewers. So if we're back on the channel as a whole, if we go into our audience tab, then we have a returning viewers section. Now this over here just means that it's still processing the last 3 days, so you don't need to worry about that. Also, if you go above, I believe, 90 days, it's a bit fumbly with giving you this number up here, because it's not 100% sure exactly how much. But if we go to 28, we can know So this returning viewers, this is our goal really, is we want people, let's say actually first of all, returning viewers are people that have in this time period watched your content before and then come back to watch another video. So whether that's you've uploaded a new video and they've come back, or it's a case of like they've just watched one video then gone on to another video. It doesn't need to be the same video they're watching, but just a video from your channel.
So it's not a subscriber.
Yeah.
Necessarily, it's just somebody who has watched a video and is watching another. Cool.
So our goal is really for new viewers, because I mean that's how you grow, is you want them new viewers.
We don't just
coming
want
in.
the same few people.
Yeah. But we also want to build enough content that people keep kind of circulating in it, and maybe they keep coming back, whether it was how to set something specific up, and so actually they've now put that light away and now need to set it back up again, and things like that.
Or they're just liking the content and interested when new ones are coming out.
And so you can see so this purple line is our returning and the blue line is new. You can see whenever there's a live stream, it goes up. Whenever there's a video that's published, it goes up. So we can kind of guess that in this processing time, it's going to have gone up because there's been a live stream each day.
Yeah.
And that's just the trend that we see.
Yeah.
And we can also, from this, kind of decide, okay, not as many people were interested in the best settings for the MV7, because we can see actually that kind of peak of new people coming back wasn't as big as when we said about automatically changing scenes in Ecamm.
Yeah.
So it's not as many of our existing audience that are like, okay, great, which makes sense because you need a specific microphone, whereas Ecamm, a lot of them
very limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
And interesting as well, if that purple line is the our returning customers, this would stack up that we say about our lives being to a warm audience, and they're the people that are going to show up, and that very clearly shows that. In fact, that was probably a Friday, was it? Which probably means that on that same day, we also uploaded a video or...
Yeah. So on this, we can see, you can kind of see on this when we say about that, the trending. So, sorry, we did a live stream here, but you can kind of see on that blue line,
it's not really...
There's not any increase really. There's some because we also emailed out about people, and bearing in mind this can also be subscribers.
Doesn't mean cold audience that don't know us.
Even if they're subscribed, if they've not watched a video from us in the last 28 days, them coming back can still knock this.
Good. Yeah.
So it has gone up slightly, but actually you can see it's not done it majorly, whereas it is hugely...
Those that are kind of active and watching our videos...
Yeah, it's almost 3 times the amount. Sorry, it's over 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
And with this as well, you can also get this in, again, the audience tab, returning viewers on a video itself. So how many people, you can see when it's first uploaded, it was more people that are already subscribed and have watched videos recently that then have come and watched this one because notifications probably. But then you can see actually the more it's gone out in search, the more we're reaching a new audience.
Yeah.
And this is daily hitting up to about 110.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Come
on.
And then kind of now kind of following the, I guess, customer journey, they're now on the video. They've clicked it, hopefully, but now they're watching it. And we want to be able to know how long they've watched it, because ultimately our goal is to make the best videos possible so that they watch for as long as possible.
Yeah. And that's important because
one of the kind of 2 main metrics, and actually let's get YouTube to tell us this instead.
Okay.
So the two kind of metrics that it looks at is the click-through rate and the average view duration. And it says
down
here
there in the funnel.
Yeah. And it even says here, when we go on this information, it might be blocked. No. You can see here, it says, you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your click-through rate and your watch time of your video.
Yeah.
So that's YouTube saying, this is what we look at, is how many people click it, because we want to know if it's an interesting topic, and how long people watch it, because we want to know the topic lives up to that and it isn't just clickbait.
Yeah.
So the way we can do this is we can either come into the engagement tab and scroll down, and it's got this weird looking graph here.
We're back in the same. I just realised we're back in the same place.
This is, sometimes it messes up once you've. But you can also do it in the overview, and you could do it in here. This is probably going to need me to refresh the page and come back onto it. But actually, okay, this tab may not be playing. Sometimes once you've opened up the advanced analytics,
is it because we've got other tabs open?
Sometimes it just needs you to then kind of go back to YouTube Studio and work your way back in, because there's something in the link that is doing it. But if we go into this video, for example, we can see this is our retention graph. So it's got our video up here. So as we're playing this video,
so it's a 2-minute 51-second video. Yeah.
But you can see as we're watching the video now, we've paused it, it's stopped. This red line.
Okay, that's in real time.
Yeah. So this is real time showing us where it is.
Zoom in a little bit.
Yep. So if you're not really that interested in what part of your video hasn't worked or has worked, then you can just take these numbers at the top and go average view duration, and that's the average percentage viewed. So people have, on average, watched 1:41 of this video, and that was about 59% of the video. But for us, we want to know why.
Is there a drop off?
Yeah.
Do we get to a point where all of a sudden people go, nah?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's been that we've done like a comparison between two different things, haven't we? Like a camera, and all of a sudden there's a very steep drop off. And when we've looked at it, we've realized it's because, we've said, what's the difference between these two? And then all of a sudden we put a side-by-side image.
Yeah.
And it's like people go, well, I don't need to stay around any longer. I've got my answer, and they're off. So sometimes you go, okay. And I guess in that case, it would be like we're trying to keep people, wait till the end and we've got this.
That's in that sense, that's almost like the payoff of the video. So say, for example, in this LED panel versus softbox, I've just reloaded it. You can see that audience retention is okay. It's
pretty good.
Until it hits this point. And saying about what you've just said, this is LED panel versus softbox. Can we guess at what point it kind of...
Is this going to be the demo?
Yeah. So this is as soon as this is kind of then changed. You can see
showed the difference.
There's a slight difference in
exactly.
that kind of tick over as soon as it hits there.
So I'm on LED panels. I've now just changed to the softbox. People are like, cool.
Yeah.
Got that.
That's the answer they need.
Yeah. And that's probably why they then go from this, I want an LED panel. And that's why they've then gone from this and searched LED panels, because they've made a decision.
And a more kind of stark example of it, I'll just need to grab it quickly, is also, it was there, I just missed it. Let me just quickly, I'm lost now. Where are we?
Can also indicate, while Ian's looking for this, it can also, if you want to put a subscribe overlay on or something like that, a little animation would be a good point to do it before you've just lost these people, or it could be a good point to put a card up if you want to put a thing that says, subscribe, watch future videos, or here's one that's also talking about lighting.
Yeah. And another good example of this is, again, this suddenly has a drop off. This is the 16 versus 30mm lens video. And this drop off is as soon as you see them side by side.
That's what I was referring to. Yeah, absolutely.
And then again, there's a lot of talking. You see it again. And that's kind of confirmed it for people. This is now a still one.
Yeah.
And then there's a major drop off afterwards. So this is really another example of that.
Yeah. So that's really good to see. I think it's you know, as Owen's pointed out, I'm hoping that I don't know how many we got watching, but I think this is really powerful stuff for you to get this. And for those of you that have got a channel and you want to know how to improve it and how to understand why some videos are working and not, why are they not getting ranked? Why, you know, if YouTube's seeing quite early on everyone's dropping off, let's have a look at your videos and go, what do you need to do to change this and improve it? So I think this is really powerful, Owen, and thank you.
So
anything?
A good example of us kind of making this difference is, so this video, you can see there's quite a sudden dip here, and we tried back a while ago having like an intro kind of sting, which this is just one video, but there was also this on another, but you can kind of see just before this drop off, if we go just before and then click on it, let's bring you a bit higher up into
see this
here.
Quite steep cliff there that it just,
so you can see
we've introduced,
and that's where our intro came in. So people at this point either left, or you can see this goes back up. So if you can go into the chart guide and it will show you the different kind of ways of reading this. But
so if they just skipped 15 seconds.
Yeah. So this is 10 to about 15 is when they come back. So they've just skipped it.
Yeah.
So this is a flat line, is everyone's still watching. Which, while that is the ideal, it's rarely going to happen when you get a lot of views for everyone to stay watching the whole time. A gradual decline means that people are losing attention over time. The spikes are when people are coming back to it, so maybe they're either re-watching something, skipping backwards, or they're actually skipping forwards.
Might be chapter markers as well, which...
Yeah, so that's a big... It's one of the questions of, are chapter markers good or bad? Because I would argue they're pretty good, because actually they mean that, say, for example, on the Ecamm's 3.9 update, I was just looking before this, and actually you can see in the chapters, there's a kind of decline in the chapter like its own video almost, and then people just go to the next chapter. Because they know, and they can kind of browse based off them chapters. And then we're zoomed in a bit because it's...
So this kind of, this is something we say and we'll teach in the academy, really, that you can put these little sting videos in just to talk about yourself, but we don't really recommend them. We didn't use them. We thought we'd try them again. That's just proof for us, really, that no, actually, you're losing people's attention, and even like a 5 or 10 second little clip, don't do it. It doesn't need to be there. Quite involved, yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're saying. We won't really be doing this. We'll be looking at, we've got a session or two looking at this in the second week of the academy. And this is why we've kind of left it to the end of this week as well, that we've been talking about what type of video. We did a whole 3-hour thing last Thursday, how to attract people. We looked around titles. We went through that worksheet. Across this week, we've been looking at different ways to use YouTube. And really, we've left this right to the end as an advanced thing. And this is something, remember in the academy that the videos that are in there, you can come back to at any point in the future. So yeah, don't be put off and think that this is now going to be technical. It isn't at all. We love to keep things simple. Yeah, he amazes me as well, Glenda. Okay, you do chapters. Yes, and I think it makes it so much easier for the user, Paul, doesn't it? To be, I mean, I love that, to be able to skip through. I've been watching a whole load of lens reviews, and sometimes I'm the person doing the review is really aiming it at photographers, and so they'll put charts up and they'll show the edges and things like this. I just want to see the photos and see, let's put them side by side. So in the same way that we saw that drop off, I've kind of done that on other videos where I've clicked across the chapters and I've gone, oh, there we go. Let's look at the image side by side. Or quite often I want to get to the conclusion. I just go, tell me what you think. I trust you. I like you as a YouTuber. I just want to hear your review on this.
Yeah.
I don't need the sort of 30-minute all different options. Interesting, isn't it? And I wonder, this is where I get a bit confused with YouTube, and I don't know that we know the answer really, but if someone has skipped to the end, does that mean that YouTube says they waited till the end, or does it say they only watched 3 minutes of this 20-minute video? Yeah. So it would still penalize it.
Yeah, and it's the same actually if people are watching at 0.2 times speed, at 2 times speed.
Oh, really?
Actually, they're technically the watch time they've watched. Say, for example, this is a 2-minute video. If they're watching it at double the speed, they've technically watched a minute of the video.
Interesting.
Because they've sped it up.
Huh. Lots to it. If you want to go that deep.
You can also just kind of accept this video this video got lots of views, this video didn't get lots of views, and if that's as deep into analytics as you want to go, then you can still do well as that.
Totally. Anything else, Owen, or do you think that's enough to?
I think that's probably a good amount.
Good. We will be doing a lot more of this, and the beauty of again, the point of us doing this is really giving you a taste of this. This is what we do inside our YouTube Academy, and that starts on Monday, and we have a nice little QR code there if you want to just put your open your photos on your camera and put it over that QR code. It will take you through to that link at the bottom, our YouTube Academy. And it starts Monday. It's a 2-week live training. We're going to be running through this really like a boot camp, right from the basics of let's build your channel out. In fact, before that even, what type of videos should you be making? I love that side of it personally. As you can see, Owen loves the numbers side of it. So between us, we're kind of covering all bases. We'll get you started. We'll get that channel going, and then we'll take you all through all of this in a lovely Facebook group with a little community all working through at the same time. So we're on a daily live, pre-recorded videos. It's a great little hybrid model for you there. So that's the YouTube Academy. Starts on Monday. If you're watching this in the replay, you can still head to that link, and it will just sign you up for the next one, which will be coming around November. Although, of course, the beauty of videos like this and lives is someone could be watching this 3 years from now.
Then it probably won't be on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. But sign up anyway, and you'll get on the wait list for the next one. Yes, Paul, we'll see you on Monday. Fantastic. Looking forward to that. And Glenda too. And thank you so much for the rest of you that have been here. Hope you found this useful. Thank you, Owen. There's so much to this, and it's lovely to see actually how easy it is to access all of this. And a lot of this, it's not even TubeBuddy actually, is it? A lot of this is just there in YouTube Studio. So we've not
even
looked in TubeBuddy today.
Other than VidIQ's views per hour, we've not touched any external things.
You're not having to pay for extra platform, extra tools to be able to do this. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it. And thank you, Alan. We will hopefully see you next week. All the best. Have a good weekend.